What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and let's talk about fourth federal level stimulus checks to everybody in the nation. Let's take a look at this article. Just came out. It says 63% of Americans support the idea of new stimulus checks to combat hot inflation. Now, let me know in the comments down below. Is that you? Are you a part of the 63% that think that we should have more stimulus checks as we have 40-year high inflation? Or do you think, no, we should not send out more stimulus checks because it will add to inflation? Well, I'm going to be covering this article and getting you caught up on the latest as where things stand with federal checks to everybody in the nation. Now, in addition to that, speaking of $2,000 checks, I'm also going to be covering for you some updates as there is a new city sending out up to $2,000 stimulus checks, and also an update on some states for you as well. And if you'd like a comprehensive list of every state, city, and county in the nation that's sending out stimulus checks at this time, I've got a list of over 100 that I've compiled, getting all the information in one place for you at www.reliefroadmap.com. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. And if you appreciate the updates, don't forget, smash the like button. If you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not? Come join the Ram fam. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. I'll let you know about the latest on stimulus checks, child tax credits, Social Security increases, student loan debt forgiveness, SNAP, PEBT, you name it. Everything that's going on with Congress and our economy, I'll keep you up to date here on the channel. And with that being said, though, let's go ahead and dive into these articles and get you caught up on stimulus checks. All right, so this article says that 63% of Americans support the idea of new stimulus checks to combat hot inflation. And there are states that are stepping up to offer relief as well. Now, first, let's talk about federal level stimulus checks to everybody in the nation. So, high inflation, rising interest rates, and labor shortages have many experts and economists concerned about a looming recession. With all this uncertainty, what is clear is that American households are struggling and could use some extra support right now. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with that. People are still struggling and they still could use some help. A recent poll done by Newsweek shows that 63% of Americans support a new round of stimulus checks from the federal government to combat inflation. So in other words, sending out fourth federal level checks to everybody in the nation. However, lawmakers in Washington have given no indication that they plan to pass a fourth round of stimulus checks. And some analysts argue it will only aggravate the issue. So they're saying through the process of traditional legislation at this time, there is nothing that's making traction in Congress. And a lot of people are saying if we send out more spending, it's going to be causing more inflationary issues. Handing out dollars in an inflationary environment will only make matters worse by driving prices up even further, wrote Beth Akers, a senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, in a September blog post. But that doesn't mean that you're completely out of luck. Your support may just come from a government a little bit more local. And as I mentioned, there's states, cities, counties sending out stimulus checks, and that is due to surplus excess funds, which also is what could happen on a federal level. As take a look at this, you guys. I've been keeping you up to date on the COVID money tracker. This is a committee for a responsible federal budget. This is federal funds set aside for stimulus packages. So this is previous packages, money that has already been issued out, some of which has not yet been used. And if you take a look at the orange bar, legislative actions, there has been $6 trillion designated for stimulus packages to go out to help the American people. Of that, $5.5 trillion has been used, which means there remains at this time $500 billion of leftover stimulus funds. And that is enough to send out a $2,000 stimulus check. Now, that money is just sitting there in an account waiting to be used, has been untouched. We're going to be seeing what unfolds with that. But you guys, that is still available, and via executive action by the president still could be reallocated, reissued, repurposed, and sent out in the form of stimulus checks, child tax credits, Social Security increases, whatever they deem necessary for the case of this pandemic. And we've heard that we are still in a state of emergency announced by the president until January of 2022. So they still have access to these funds. It still could be used. And as we saw in the previous article, at this time, Congress, they currently have no legislation that they're pushing forward. So an executive action by the president would probably be, at this time, the most likely scenario in which a fourth federal level stimulus check of $2,000 would go out. Now, we're hearing that the top pressure for a stimulus check is coming from the economy. People are hurting. We're entering into a recession. We've got 40-year high inflation. And in addition to that, take a look at this. Articles coming out this month Will winter weather bring another stimulus check? And they're saying that is due to a new variant that's going to be applying pressure as well from the pandemic for more stimulus aid. Now, we will see. I will keep you guys up to date. But as the articles mentioned, there are states, cities, and counties that are sending out checks as well. All right, so first, let's cover $2,000 stimulus checks available right now in the form of rebates in Tallahassee, Florida. Then we're going to be talking about the state of Pennsylvania and where things stand with $2,000 stimulus checks. And then I'm going to go through a list of all the states that are sending out stimulus checks, but that is not including counties and cities as well. As I mentioned, there's a list of well over 100 different ones at www.reliefroadmap.com. So first up, link in the description below, Americans may score up to $2,000 with a gold package bonus rebate. Full list of each city payment. Residents in the city of Tallahassee can score up to 10 different natural gas rebates. The Florida city is incentivizing the switch to natural gas in order to reduce electric power demand by offering checks of up to $50 to $2,000. Now, the city will even connect gas from streets to houses for no extra charge. So they're encouraging this switch. Here is a hyperlink so that way you can go and do this as well. And very quickly, here's the contact information, and I'm going to go through the 10 different forms. There is the gold package bonus where you can get $2,000. This rebate applies to first-time installations of a water heater, furnace, either a gas range or a dryer. The $425 gold package bonus brings the total rebate to $2,000. There's also the combination appliance, which is $1,375. Natural gas furnace, you can get up to $700 in a rebate. Tank or tankless water heaters, $675. Gas pool and spa heaters, up to $450. Gas range and ovens, up to $200. Gas clothes dryers, up to $200. Gas outdoor barbecue grills, up to $100. Natural gas fire logs, $50. And gas outdoor lights, $50 as well. So 10 different rebate programs happening in Tallahassee, Florida, where you can get up to $2,000 for some of these. And again, this is linked in the description below if this is applicable to you as well. So that is a new one taking place right now. Now, an old one that we have not gotten any updates on in a while is Pennsylvania stimulus checks. Governor Wolf pushes plans to send $2,000 direct payments. Now, this came out back in August, and I wanted to let you guys know we have not heard any new updates from the state on this. A lot of people are continually asking me, what is the update on the state of Pennsylvania and those $2,000 stimulus checks? At this time, the Congress is silent, but if there are any updates on this, know that I will be the first to hop on here and let you know right away. But in many situations where the Congress can't come to an agreement, we have not heard anything on this state. Now, there are several, though, as I mentioned, many states, I think well over 30 states, but also cities and counties that are sending out stimulus checks and have a variety of different programs. Let's cover some of them in this article right here. Now, first up, we have Alaska. People in Alaska can get $650 to deal with the rising energy prices from their permanent fund, and this could be well over $3,000. I've reported to you before. This comes out annually from the state of Alaska. Also, California. Governor Gavin Newsom announced another stimulus check. I think it was the middle class tax rebate. You can get up to $1,050. Colorado as well. Coloradoans, $750 cash back this summer to help with the rising costs of gas, groceries, and other items. So you can see an assortment of different checks going out in various states. Delaware, a relief rebate program was signed in Delaware back in April. It's a one-time payment of $300 per adult to help out with the high costs of groceries and gas. Florida as well. Families in Florida are going to be getting a one-time payment of $450 per child for those eligible. So a child tax credit of $450 in the state of Florida as well. Georgia. People in Georgia are going to be eligible for a rebate on their 2020 or 2021 taxes thanks to the revenue surplus. Bill 1302 signed into law back in March. Married couples get up to $500, single individuals $250, heads of household $375. Hawaii, the state government of Hawaii passed a bill giving tax filers a rebate of $300 as long as they make under $100,000 and $100 if they make more than that as well. And we heard there were some delays on that in Hawaii due to a paper shortage, but they're going to be getting that out very soon. Also, Idaho, you can expect to receive a rebate as well, as the government is using two ways to calculate the amount of either $75 or 12% of your 2020 Idaho state taxes, whichever is greater. Next up is Illinois. In Illinois, direct rebate checks, they have been given out to working families as well. Relief checks of $50 for individuals and $100 per dependent, up to 3 children per family, is going to be sent out for a total of $685 million allocated from the state. Indiana, you can get $125 as well. In August, a second rebate went out in Indiana of $200 that was approved. Maine. Residents in Maine got one of the highest relief payments in the country as Governor Janet Mills signed a supplemental budget into law in April to send out residents a one-time payment of $850 for inflation relief. Massachusetts, the Senate approved a $250 stimulus check for taxpayers, but ended up scrapping the plan. Instead, certain taxpayers will receive a refund of about 14% of their personal state income tax liability. Distributions for those checks were slated to go out November 1st. Minnesota passed legislation to give a one-time payment of $487.45 to its frontline workers. So frontline workers in Minnesota got almost $500. New Jersey. Residents in New Jersey with at least one dependent child and a tax balance of $1 or more, they get a rebate of $500 for their 2020 taxes, known as the middle class rebate as well. And also they have the Anchor program, which I've covered in several videos for you as well, several programs in the state of New Jersey. New Mexico, they're going to be bringing financial relief in the form of $750 with rising costs of groceries and gas as well. New York, in September, New York Governor Kathy Hochul announced a $475 million plan to provide low-income New Yorkers with relief checks to help with inflation. About 1.75 million New Yorkers should have received an average of $270 checks by the end of October. Oregon, the Oregon Department of Revenue has issued one-time payments of $600 to eligible households, meaning a single person or couples or families that live together, they can get these checks. And also, they have the EITC, which is the Earned Income Tax Credit and also known as the Adult Tax Credit. Pennsylvania, as you recall, they're pushing for $2,000 stimulus checks, but in September, Governor Tom Wolf signed new legislation into law offering a one-time bonus rebate for vulnerable residents. Older adults and those with disabilities who receive the maximum $650 standard rebate will receive another one-time $450 rebate as well. And there is also $975 property tax rebate that you could receive as well. Rhode Island, you can get $250 per child with a maximum of 3 children in the state of Rhode Island. South Carolina, towards the end of the year, taxpayers in South Carolina will be getting refund checks of up to $800. In Virginia, Governor Glenn Youngkin signed the budget in June that will see income tax refunds of up to $250 and $500 for married couples that will help eliminate the 1.5% state grocery tax. So there you have it, you guys, the latest on stimulus checks on a federal level and states. And like I said, whatever unfolds, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date as more information rolls out. We will see if there will be a 4th check to everybody in the nation, if it's just going to be states, counties, and cities from here on out. But like I said, I'll keep you up to speed here on the channel. And if you made it this far, haven't already, don't forget, smash the like button, hit subscribe to stay up to date. Thank you for all the support on my kids' channel, Liam and Naya. More content coming out from them. They've been doing a great job. If you got any little ones, I hope they enjoy it. I'm very proud of them. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.